All right, thanks. I will call the meeting to order. Because I don't want to delay. I know that Councillor Bray has another meeting at 6 o'clock, so I'm hoping that we can move along expeditiously.
6:30, Mr. Mayor.
Well, 6:30. All right. Well,
30, yeah.
okay. So I will call the meeting to order. You have the roll call sheet, Madam Clerk, so I'll leave that in your hands. Are we going to start with the national anthem? Do we have that queued up?
We do. One moment, please.
Thank you. We have no sound, Madam Clerk.
Well, you can sing to the words, George.
Thank you. The municipality of Whitestown recognizes all of Canada resides on traditional, unceded and/or treaty lands of the Indigenous people of Turtle Island. We recognize our municipality on the Robinson-Huron Treaty Territory is home to many past, present, and future Indigenous families. This acknowledgement of the land is a declaration of our commitment and collective responsibility to reconcile the past and to honor and value the culture, history, and relationships we have with one another. I'll now ask if any of the councillors has a pecuniary interest to declare in this afternoon's proceedings. Okay, let the record show that one was declared. Next, we need a motion to approve the agenda as circulated.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Councillor Lamb. I'm just looking for my pen here. Anyway, we'll carry on. Councillor Lamb. Seconder. Councillor Bray, seconds. Since this is a Zoom meeting, for those of you who may be wondering, we have a roll call vote for all the votes that we take, and we are in open session at the moment. So this is being recorded. I didn't mean.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So I'm going to ask our clerk to call the roll for the vote, please.
Thank you. Councillor Bray,
Yes.
Councillor Lamb,
Yes.
Councillor Nash,
Yes.
Councillor Woods,
Yes.
and Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Okay, thank you. So next we need a motion to move into closed session to consider the items that are on the closed session agenda that's been circulated. Could I get that motion, please?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Wood, seconded by
I'll second Counselor Lamb.
Counselor Lamb. Thank you. Any discussion? If not, once again, I'll ask for the recorded vote to be called.
Counselor Bray,
Yes.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Woods, or Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie,
Yes.
that's carried.
Okay, thank you. We,
4:10 PM.
That's right, 8 PM. So it's 8 PM already. All right, matters arising from the closed session. The motion was that. Sorry, is my camera turned off? Anyway, sorry. The suggested motion is that the presentation from Don Carmichael, Chair of the Finance Committee, Belvedere Heights Board of Management, and Pam Wing, Chairperson of Belvedere Heights Board of Management, be received for information. That's it. You want to move and second that?
I'll move it.
All right, Councillor Lamb moves, seconded by
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Woods. Okay, any discussion? If not, can we call the question, please?
Thank you, Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie,
Yes.
thank you. Carried.
Michelle, I sent a oh, okay, sorry. I sent a message to Ed Can. I don't know whether he got it or not, so.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm watching for him to join the
Mhm.
meeting, and when I see him, I will admit
Yeah.
him.
Okay, thank you.
So 4.3.3 was the volunteer application for the Whitestone Environmental Stewardship Committee. Mover and seconder that the Council of Municipality of Whitestone does hereby approve the following appointment to the Whitestone Environmental Stewardship Committee, and the name is Joanne Boyle.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Councillor Lamb, seconded by Councillor Nash. All those in favor, we'll call the question.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
thank you, Counselor Woods,
Yes.
and Mayor Comrie,
Yes.
carried.
Okay, so this is,
Oh, you're off the side. Okay, good.
no, I'm just getting rid of it and getting that to the next paper. So
Okay.
the only other, oh, sorry, yeah, the only other one, no, we do have two now. This is the WPS Recreation and Culture Center Agreement, item 4.4.1. Whereas the municipality of Whitestone remains committed to supporting the West Perry Sound Recreation and Cultural Center per the funding agreement signed October 2022. And whereas the funding agreement required a review of the operating model projected operating costs, the operating model, projected operating costs, and reserve requirements for the facility by independent management consultants with expertise in such reviews to be completed prior to final design of the facility at the board's cost. And whereas the municipality of Whitestone understands that BDO was engaged to undertake this review, and whereas the municipality of Whitestone requested a copy of the terms of reference and engagement letter for BDO, and whereas the council of the municipality of Whitestone passed resolution number 2023-327 on July 4th, 2023, outlining their thoughts on the review. And whereas the municipality of Whitestone Council has now received the terms of reference for the BDO report, as well as the BDO report dated June 15th, 2023, and have had the opportunity to review the report. Therefore, be it resolved that the municipality of Whitestone respectfully informs the Joint Services Board that the BDO report does not meet the requirements set out in the agreement dated October 22, 2022, and that the municipality of Whitestone requested representatives from both the steering committee and the Joint Services Board meet with the municipality of Whitestone CAO for further discussions on the matter.
I'll make the motion.
I can second that motion.
Moved by Councillor Lamb, seconded by Councillor Nash. All right, discussion.
I just had one thing, if I might say to it, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
I think you'd made a note there that it might be hard for the CAO. So I might just want to add, if possible, that you know, Councillor Lamb and the CAO could speak to anybody. So just make that a little bit amendment to it. I don't know if the Councillor Lamb would be okay with that as the mover of the motion.
Yeah, I would, and I think it's a smart move that I don't think Michelle should meet with you know, both parties alone. So yeah, I'd be happy to add with our CAO and Deputy Mayor Joe Lamb, add that to the motion. Thank you.
Well, I guess I should ask the CAO whether she thinks it's appropriate for her to be involved in this at all, because
Well, I want her there, so and it's part of her job, right? Like she was on the steering committee. She has been involved with it, and I don't think one person should meet alone. And Michelle and I have worked well together. We did the contract negotiations, and when I put this motion together, I don't think she ever expressed any reservation about being. In fact, I think she would be probably more comfortable, but not to speak for her. Thank you.
I'll just jump in. I think it is a role. I think the CAO needs to be there. I know the people, I know the parties, and Councillor Lamb and I do work well together. It never comes to blows, it hasn't yet. So I think it would be helpful for both of us to be there and pass along to the steering committee. I expect it'll be Clayton Harris and perhaps Donald Sanderson that will listen to us, and we'll have a conversation, and it'll just need to express Whitestone's concerns.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make another, oh, sorry, Brian, go ahead.
If I could, Mr. Mayor, just a suggestion to that motion. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but I think we should be circulating a copy of this motion to all of the other municipalities. And I'd like to see Graydon Smith and Scott Aitchison and the ISIP funding grant people attached and sent this also. I don't know how everybody feels about that, but I think it'd be a good idea.
I think it's a great idea, and I'd agree to it as the mover.
I'd have no problem with that, Councillor Woods, as a seconder. Good
and
idea.
I think the only thing I would add to that is that when Michelle sends it out, that she also copy our motion from July, okay? Because they kind of go hand in hand, right? So when you send this motion out to ISEP and the communities and our MP and MPPs, you have to put both motions together so they understand it a little more, right? So I would
Council-
suggest, I don't know that we have to write that in the motion, but I would just say that as kind of a staff direction.
Would you also include, Counselor Lamb, the report itself?
I don't think that's needed. If they wanted it, they could call, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to take notes.
I've got everything, Mr. Mayor, in my notes, if you want to move on.
Okay, well, I don't know who all you went to circulate it to it, but anyway.
I've got
Well,
the
it's
West Curry Sound municipalities.
All
West
the
Curry Sound
community. Yeah, sorry.
West Curry Sound municipalities, Graydon Smith, Scott Aitchison, and ISIP.
Well, there do WPS municipalities. And ISIP, which is really the Ontario. It's Ontario Ministry of Infrastructure is where it would go, I guess. But anyway, okay. So you've added two things to the last clause that I read to you. It's was that the municipality of Whitestone requested representatives from both the steering committee and the joint services board meet with the municipality. I guess it should be asked to meet with the municipality of Whitestone, CAO, and Councillor Lamb for further discussions on the matter. And that a copy of this resolution be circulated to MP Scott Aitchison, MP Graydon Smith, other West Prairie Sound municipalities, and ISIP. Well, I assume you want the Joint Services Board too, don't you? Well, they're going to find out anyway.
They're gonna find out anyway.
You're gonna-
The only,
you're gonna meet with-
no, Mr. Mayor, the only change I would make to that is I would call myself Deputy Mayor Joe Lamb.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I happen to be the
You're not,
deputy mayor.
you're only the deputy mayor insofar as you're representing me, and in this case, you're not representing representing me because I'm not going to support this motion. So
Well, that's okay. I think that's what I would like in, and I guess we'll take a vote on it. Democracy is a
Well-
wonderful thing.
well, yeah, it is. So is the Municipal Act, sir. And I can tell you, I still have the prerogative to appoint someone else as the deputy mayor if I choose. So I don't choose to have you acting as the deputy mayor in this particular case. You're there as a councilor.
Oh, come on, George. This is why we're having problems on council. Are you kidding me?
It's
We
because
have
you're,
to have
you
a
know,
little weight into the motion. And I know it doesn't fit you because you're thinking of what you want as opposed to what the citizens of Whitestone want here. And you're going to put roadblocks up, right?
I'm thinking of the damage to the municipality that this
I'll
this
tell
kind
you
of
the
thing is
damage
going to
that, I'll
do.
tell you the damage that's been done to the community was when you forced us into a vote that gave even what we did give. Don't hide behind all
No.
this stuff.
No, sorry, that decision was made by it was the will of council. And, you know, if you, what's the point of this? You're trying to find an excuse to get out of the commitment. And
I never told
you
you
know,
that.
well, but
never told you
but
that.
there could be no other reason to do this other than that. What reason could you possibly
The
have?
reason would be to do a proper independent study, as we discussed, so that people, and you said it earlier, so that people would know what the actual situation is in 2023, not in 2018. And it's not contingent on the results of the study. It's just doing the study properly in our mind. That's what it is. They do this proper study. They consult with us. They do the study. They get their money. But it's a condition of our contract with them. If they don't do the study, they don't contact us, and they don't satisfy us, then then that may be a ramification of it. But I didn't tell you that it's trying to get out of it or anything like that. It's trying to enforce the agreement that we have, Mr. Mayor. And I happen to be the deputy mayor right now, and I guess you think you can just take me out of it. I was made deputy mayor by the rest of council, and you can just say, well, I don't want you to be deputy mayor. I don't want you to be on there, right? That's autocratic and it's improper. And you know it is.
And just, if I
No,
might,
normally, sorry, I'm gonna respond to that. Normally, if someone is representing the municipality, it should be the mayor in this case, or the mayor and the CAO. If for some reason I chose not to do this, didn't want to do it, then I logically would ask Councillor Lamb, Deputy Mayor Lamb, I would ask him to do it. But I can tell you the people that you're going to be meeting with are all understand very clearly what your position is on the matter, on the whole subject to begin with.
Good.
If you are hoping to get them to do them or to convince them that they should do a better review, you would have better luck sending me to suggest that to them, which I
Well,
would in
we're
fact
not,
do.
so.
Hmm?
I said that isn't what the motion says.
I
if
know
I
it
might,
isn't what the motion, I know it isn't what the motion says, but I think it really calls into question, what is the motivation for doing this?
if,
I
And,
told you already. I told you
I-
already.
if I might, Mr. Mayor and Councillor Woods, or sorry, Councillor Lamb. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the end of the day, I think we've all said the same thing in different ways about it. What council is looking for, the majority of council, is wanting what the municipality or council thought was going to be a fully independent, professional, complete, detailed, independent review, and that's not what was provided. We weren't sure if it was going to be provided the way we wanted, so we'd sent out a motion several months ago. It didn't come back the way we thought it would, which we had concerns of. We tried to pre-warn them. Now we're going to send a motion to say we do want it the way that Whitestone and council had wanted it. And I think in the motion, often we might ask a councillor to represent something, and it's not always the mayor. And I think in this motion, saying Deputy Mayor Lamb is his role, which was voted on by council, and there's no issues in the motion saying it's Deputy Lamb, or sorry, Councilor Deputy Mayor Lamb in the motion, when that's what has been asked to go into the motion. That is his title at the municipality. So I was a seconder. I have no problem with that wording, and maybe we can ask for a vote and move on with the meeting.
well, even that process is somewhat unfair though, because you're missing a counselor already. I mean, I think it's,
Meetings, unfortunately, Mr. Mayor, meetings don't end when one counselor's not here. We'd have to have two more of us leave before a meeting's called to an end. That would mean that if another counselor is off a call or not at a meeting, we can never do votes, and we know that's not what it is. You're just saying that in a way that that's not how it works. Meetings carry on as long as there's three counselors or three council representatives there, and we have 4 right now. So I'm not sure why that would even be brought up.
well, I have to, we're 20 minutes past curfew as it is, and I think this is a bit manipulative. There's no urgency to this. I mean, we could have had this, we could have deferred this to this whole resolution to another time. But
No, we didn't. So we didn't. Let's
I
call the
think
vote.
I think I really need to be on the record of saying that this kind of action, regardless of how any of us might feel of it, what they did in response to the requirement that we set for them. It is clearly going to be perceived by everybody concerned as just an attempt to add workload to their to the what they already have in abundance. And B, to get out of the to get out of the commitment somehow or other, in an attempt to get out of the commitment. And I mean, you can say all you want, no, we're gonna pay it, but that's not how it's going to be interpreted. And I think the third thing is that it demonstrates something that was a concern to the government at the time, the governments that are funding, particularly the Ontario government, that was the channel for recommending this to ISIP, that that there be a cohesive group of municipalities in West Parry Sound that were going to support this. And there was a lot of discussion around, well, people are going to go their separate ways and not do it. And Dad already made a commitment. And during one of the discussions about this that was held during the election time, somebody came up and said, well, what's the value proposition here? The value proposition, very simply, is that we made a commitment. Wasn't what we were asked for, but we made a commitment, and I supported this commitment that had limits on it. We did make a commitment, and we haven't paid a cent on it so far. But within a matter of months, we got back from the government about $550,000 in grants towards the expansion of the nursing station.
Oh,
and if anybody here thinks for once, sorry, I got to listen to you. You got to listen to me.
Yes, but don't complain.
If anybody here thinks that we would have got that money if we had said, no, we don't want any part of this, you are kidding yourself in spades. That whole thing was being watched very, very carefully. And we really did get a pretty good return on our money, because that's $550,000 that the taxpayers didn't have to pay for something that we wanted to do in exchange for a commitment that we made to do of $250 for something that our neighbors clearly wanted to do and needed to do. And the time has come that I think we got to decide if we're going to behave like we're just an island and we don't care about, we only care about what happens in Whitestone. We are simply going to be left behind.
Well, you know what?
You asked the question: is Whitestone going to be named on the as a partner on the building? Are our people going to be able to get memberships at the same rate as other residents of West Parry Sound? If we keep trying to obstruct this, now eventually they'll say, fine, you want to go do your own thing, Whitestone, go do it. And all of our people and the people to come in next generations, long after you and I are gone, are going to suffer as a result of this. And I cannot, in good conscience, support a resolution that I believe is going to damage the reputation of the municipality further than it already is going to damage is going to prejudice our own ratepayers going forward as participants in the economy and social fabric of West Parry Sound. And I think that's a hugely short-sighted, huge mistake for us. So anyway, I'm not going to support the motion. I'll be on record of not supporting it, and
okay.
But you're obviously bound on passing it. So Knock yourself out, go offend people and see where it gets you.
I have one
Thanks, sir.
really quick question, if I might, and a really quick comment. I think it'll take about 30 seconds. I guess one thing we have to remember, and I'm not sure why we're talking about the nursing station, but when you said a
Right.
cohesive group, how many municipalities, it's not a question I want answered, how many other municipalities contributed to the nursing station other than Whitestone? One. Not all the other municipalities. A lot of municipalities don't contribute to us. So we have to remember that, Mr. Mayor. You forgot to say that no other municipality except one contributed money to the nursing station. Yet they want us to contribute money. This again isn't about contributing money, it's about asking for a report. But I do want to know if you could answer, you said that this motion was being manipulative. What did you mean on the record so the public can hear what you mean being manipulative of having a motion come forward in open to be discussed that is manipulative in trying to do it?
Well, first of all, it was, I mean, nobody saw it until today, but it was edited on the fly by the three people who are obviously bound and determined to pass it. And one of the counselors who probably would have spoken against it is not here, right? So, you know, I'm just saying it could have been done in another context when we had some knowledge in advance that that the motion was coming, and
Well, we did give you notice.
But
Could I-
unless I'm incorrect, it was on our agenda 4 or 5 days ago, and we never get motions more than a day before. And I think
I
for the
never saw the
record-
motion. I only saw the item for discussion.
But
I
we,
didn't see-
but
Well, the
Mr.
motion
Mayor,
percentage.
we never get the motions before the day before. And I don't think any time I've ever been on council, just because one counselor's away, we don't vote on anything. So I just want to go on the record to say that I don't think when one counselor's away, we can't vote on any motions at a meeting. And I think that's being manipulative to say that we shouldn't vote on something because one counselor's away.
All right, well,
Anyways,
fine.
hopefully we can get on with the vote.
Can we, I mean, I think we might as well just get on, unless somebody else is more they want to say.
Could I say something very quickly, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, you could. You haven't spoken, I don't think.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to point one thing out. We didn't do the nursing station just for Whitestone because it services everybody, right? There's people from Perry Sound that use it. It's a healthcare initiative. If anybody who lives up here knows, it's extremely hard to even see your family doctor. The nursing station is always a perfect option for people if they can't get into see their family doctor. I've used the nursing station that was out on Wissahickon on the island, right? That's to say that it's just for Whitestone. I don't agree with that. And your comment about the three counselors that are bound and determined to make this pass, Mr. Mayor, I simply made what I thought was a good suggestion. I'm not trying to be bound and determined to cancel anything or kill anything. I would just like to see the report that all of us, including you, I might add, thought we would have been getting. That's all. That, and can we vote? It's on the table. I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
But we could have asked for that. And by the way, I wasn't suggesting that that the nursing station only benefits Whitestone. That's not the case. What I'm suggesting is that when the government makes a decision to give you a very sizable amount of money, and then people start attacking the project, that does not endear the attackers to the powers that be who went out on a limb and issued the grant. That's where it's the political optics of it that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about whether any of these things are good ideas or bad ideas or who they help or whatever. And I'm very grateful that we got the money. But I'm telling you, it was a close call because it looked like we were going to bail on something else that they had made a commitment to. And you have to be involved in politics at the provincial or federal level to understand how that works, I would say. Anyway,
Okay.
let's move on.
Good,
Are
let's
you
call
gonna-
the question.
Are you going to call are you going to call the roll, Michelle?
I will, thank you.
Madam
Counselor
Clerk?
Lamb,
Yes,
Counselor Nash,
Yes,
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie,
No.
motion carries.
I just as a side comment, I guess you think McKellar's pretty offside too, eh?
No, I think McKellar did what McKellar did two things as I see it. Anyway, I don't think we should be talking about what McKellar did, but you know, they took an approach similar to the one that Whitestone did in the sense they said we want to limit what our exposure will be you know, going forward, but politically, it will still have the same consequences, I believe, as the resolution that we're passing.
But what's
But they
wrong?
did make an unequivocal, as I read the motion, they were making an unequivocal commitment to pay what they said originally they were going to pay. So they're not reneging on anything. They're just saying, please don't, we don't
Well-
want to be part of this shared services board going forward.
That's because they've already paid it.
Well, all right, but I'm not sure they paid it all. They still have some other.
Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. They paid their nearly $800,000. It's gone, believe me. But anyway, you know, we could go on and on with this, but you know, if you get one or two people feeding whoever, whether it be ISEP or other people or consultants, and driving the ship, right, and giving them only the information that they want to give them, then I don't see it as a big problem that maybe the ISEP people say, hey, all this stuff isn't so good in the sandbox over here in Parry Sound. I don't think that's a bad thing, Mr. Mayor, because it might lead to them taking a sober second look at this thing and looking at the reality of it and looking at the viability of it and looking at the long-term 5-7 years from now, what this is going to end up. That's what could happen. And don't forget, my final thing will be that our citizens, 75 or 80% of 400 people in Whitestone didn't want anything to do with this. Anything to do with it. And yes, we made a political decision, and it's not the decision I would have wanted because I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But it's the political decision that was made at the last council that you could control. This one, I know you're upset because you can't control it, right? And we seem to go and the world's going to fall apart. You know, it's like amalgamation anyway. The world didn't fall apart in amalgamation. We didn't have a seat to go to. Like, you have a responsibility, by the way, to support the decision of your council as the mayor, because it's made. So thank you. That's the end of my.
I didn't say I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that, but that's.
Well, I sure hope you would.
I'm trying to save some. I'm trying to save some effort that I don't think is going to accomplish very much. Anyway.
Well, I guess we'll see.
All right, so can we move on to item 4.5 and finish up here? We're way past curfew.
sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Closed session 4.5.
No, just hold on.
One, I
Councillor
think,
Nash wanted to say something.
yeah, sorry, it wasn't about this. I think we missed a motion just about the resignation. I don't know if we've come to that yet. I think we missed that under the last item. I remembered it when we were talking about this.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. There wasn't, I didn't have an order paper for that. So, okay, so I think I know what you want, that the Council of the Municipality of Whitestone accepts the resignation. Sorry, I'm just writing it out.
With regret.
Accepts, all right, with regret, certainly with regret. The resignation of Mrs. Lynn Brennan from the Environmental Stewardship Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Are you moving that, Councillor Nash?
Yes, I'll move that.
I can second that, Mr. Mayor.
Ready. Okay, so that is moved by Councillor. Sorry, Councillor Nash, seconded by Councillor Wood. Got a the right box here. All those in favor of the motion, I'll ask her clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor, excuse me, Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, thank you. Could we now get a mover and seconder for the closed session meeting minutes of the regular council meeting of October 3rd and the regular council meeting of October 17th, please? To approve them.
I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Woods moves, seconded by
I'll second it.
Councillor Lamb, second. Do you want to call the question on this one, please, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is carried.
All right, where are we now? Confirmatory bylaw. Sounds like. The bylaw 71-2023 being the confirmatory bylaw for the council meeting of Thursday, November 9th, 2023, be given a first, second, third, and final reading and is passed as of this date.
I'll move it.
Councillor Lamb moves, seconded by
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Woods. All in favor? Call the question, please.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is carried.
And finally, we have adjournment.
I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Woods,
I'll second.
Councillor Lamb. Now therefore be it resolved, this meeting be adjourned at 8:38 p.m. Till the regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 21st at 6:30 p.m. or at the call of the chair. Call the question, please.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is carried.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Good evening.
Good night,
Bye now.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.